Well, when you ask me the question as to what is the reason why we live here on this planet and what we are doing and why do we have so much chaos, yeah, then I must say life. Life is a journey towards discovering who you are. Yeah? And when you have come to that junction that you discover who you are, then you get to peace. Once you are in peace, you can create according to your creative consciousness. But this has been very difficult. We have been trying for thousands and thousands of years to create a world that is prosperous, where we recognize one another as divine and equal, and share and cooperate. But we have never been able to do that. Now, why is that? I've been asking myself that question. So why are all these different cultures so extremely different? And then when you study that, and I have studied a lot, I've traveled all over the world, lived in all different countries, especially in the Far East and Europe, and also here in South America, and I noticed that all people are the same. They all want to love, and they all want to be loved. But that's not what's happening. Even though all of us want to be loved, somehow it's difficult for people to love one another and to be honest with one another and to exchange things in an honest fashion. People have organized our system in such a way that everybody wants to have profit. And lots of profit, as much as possible. It's a kind of sickness. I mean, 2,000 years ago, we had a great man by the name of Jesus, and he threw the money changers out of the temple. And he says, these are the lowest of the low. Never let them in again, because they will destroy the world. And we let them in again. And here we have all these bankers, and now everything is economy, and everybody has to make profit, and everybody's running around, spending 12 hours a day of work every day to pay the bills, hoping that they get enough work to do this thing. And it has become a crazy world. And nobody respects anybody anymore. But everybody uses everybody in order to get the necessary money to pay whatever bills they have to pay. And it's become a sad situation. Love is totally forgotten. And that is because of our system. And our system now has gone from religious dogma to economical dogma, where everybody has to pay a little bit more to those who control the economy. And this is going to go worse. And you can see the wars are happening. Governments don't recognize the light or the love in anybody. And they kill thousands and thousands of people just to get their hands on the resources of other countries. And humanity doesn't seem to object. They know that it's wrong. But they don't know how to express, because who are you going to complain to? We have now reached the time in our evolution where people begin to become aware of what it is in our consciousness that need to change in order to get a better world. And that is not removing people from powerful positions, no. It is by showing a different face, showing a more loving face, not one of fear, but one of love. And that is the whole point of our learning. When you come into planet Earth, when you incarnate here, you come from a world that is united, full of love. And from that point, you go to a lower world, which is our world, three-dimensional. And it's a world of duality. So everything that used to be one is separated in positive and negative, male and female. And these two need to unite. But we have never learned that. We have never learned in our religions that the male and the female have to unite in order to become conscious. And in fact, they made us afraid, and he says, no, the divine or God is out there, and you need to worship it. And you need to hope that it will bless you. But that's a false teaching. Because God is not outside only. It's only half the truth. God is also inside us. We are all divine beings. But the problem with our learning is that we need to understand that the animal nature and the divine nature, which are separated, need to be united. And so it is the animal in us that is fearful, that is always fighting to get more. And it is the divine in us that is able to cooperate and to be loving. The job for each human being is to unite these two energies within ourselves. The masculine part, which is the mind, and the feminine part, which is more the heart, these two need to function in harmony. So that the intuition, which is the energy of love and understanding, is guiding the mind to do the right thing. Now, if we would believe in ourselves, we would immediately say the right thing. But we don't believe in ourselves. We believe in God, somewhere outside, that God will do it for us, or that He will bless us. But God is not going to do nothing, because He is already inside you. So we are now really at a point where we need to make new decisions. We have to forgive the past. We don't go and point fingers at anybody. But we need to breathe deeply and say, how do I want to live my life? Do I want to live with fear that is projected on me from all the leaders all around the world that are manipulating and controlling? Or am I going to ignore that and just do what my heart feels is the right thing to do? And then you find you're going to be friendly with everybody. A smile is like a ripple. And when you see somebody smile, you feel uplifted. Now that's a service. And that's what our system should be, service-orientated, where you serve others with the right information so that people can become who they are supposed to be. And we are all learning. Every human being that is an incarnation, no matter what culture you incarnate into, we are all there to learn the lessons of integration, where you learn to unite the opposite with yourself. You are the light, and the light attracts experience, and these are your daily experiences, and that you need to love. If you cannot love because you have all kinds of opinions about other people or certain situations, you're not going to love it. Because you're so opinionated, you're always judging, always this finger. Forgetting that there are three fingers pointing back to you, but they don't see that. They see the only one finger. The game is not to judge anymore. The game is to love. The game is not to fear, but to believe in yourself. And as yourself, express your light and express your love. And that is the human experience. And if you cannot do this, you're not human. You're more animal. You're fighting for existence. You're always attacking everybody around you because you're so afraid. Look at our leaders, or how they attack other countries because they're so afraid. And there is nothing to be afraid of. Because if you would love people, they will love you back. It's that simple. It's not that complicated, life. But somehow there is a force, we also know as the dark force, that is appearing so strong that people don't believe in themselves. They believe in the dark force, and they serve the dark. And they go and profit from everybody. And they function as parasites on this planet. And the great majority of people become parasites. Not that they want to be parasites. They really want to be loved. But there is no other way. Everybody is the same. And so we need now people to be different. to believe in themselves and express their love and be happy and unite with everybody. And that is the final awakening. And now the question is, who is awakening on this planet? See, the young people, they're already there. They already know the system is something very bad and something very wrong with the system, and they're trying to get away from it. But one day, they have to pay the bills. And they have to be part in that system, and they become equally as greedy and as negative as the rest of mankind. Or they are 90% of the day negative and 10% nice. Sort of maybe 1 hour before they go to bed. But that's not good enough. What is good enough is that we are all the time alert and stimulating one another to do the right thing. Not by judging, but by showing the way. You can be simply showing the way. Many simple people who work in hospitals and prisons even, who are very loving because so many people suffer so much, and they work from morning to night because they love to serve. And they will be rewarded this way. Most people don't understand about karma. Most people don't realize, because of the dogma, that life is infinite. There's no end to it. We've already lived infinitely before, and now we are here, learning the lessons of integration, where we need to learn to create a situation where the negative situations and the positive situations unite. Not the positive in preference of the negative, no. Because you create separation that way. You have to unite them. Like a man, positive, a woman, negative. These poles need to be united so that you get one big light. And this is what consciousness is. If you get a positive and a negative pole of electricity and you put them together, the light goes on. The same is your consciousness. But for that, you need to get married. So all human beings need to go through the marriage experience, in which you attract the opposite sex and learn to unite with them. They're different. A woman is different. A man is different from a woman. They have different functions. A woman is intuitive. She's more from the inner world. A man is more the outer world and wants to create in the outer world. And a woman with her intuition could inspire the man to create most wonderful things. But man doesn't believe in woman. Woman is seen as a second citizen and doesn't get the same rights as the man. This is total ignorance, because it is the woman that has access to intuition. It is the access to God. It is the access to love within one's heart. And so we need to learn that. And that is why we are here. And if we get married with the opposite sex, we have to learn to dance in harmony and become as one person. When you become as one person, you automatically become so conscious about your possibilities as a creator that the two of you begin to create the most wonderful things in the world, so that other people can also do the same, because we are all the same. We all have to stimulate everyone to be equally as knowledgeable and capable and creative as everybody else. And not one trying to control the others. No. Equal. Those who are highest in consciousness will get the respect of everybody. It's a question of respect. It's not a question of control. And so, we are now at that point that we have reached the ability to embrace these concepts, that we can actually understand that. And now we have to do it. And life is so simple. It is not a difficult philosophical thing that you have to learn every day. No. You just have to live it. You have to live your life knowing who you are, knowing that you need to integrate with the opposite and trust the opposite. The greatest gift you can give to your friends or to your partner is the gift of trust. Where you trust them to be divine, that you trust them that they will do the right thing. And if you trust it, they will do it, even if they were not wanting to do it. But because you trust them so much, they're going to do it anyway. That's creation. And that is security. That now you feel secure in yourself, because you know you can pass on the knowledge that you have to others by just being honest. Honest, not to other people, but honest to love. Honesty is also something that's misunderstood. Exactly everything is misunderstood on this planet. And now the game is to understand it. We have made so many mistakes. And it is good that we made all these mistakes. Because you will never know the truth unless you have studied all that is not true. And now we can see that we have been misguided by our religious organizations. Almost every religious organization has got it by the wrong end. Because religion is not in order to help and love and guide people to the right thing, but religion is created to control. And they create a dogma with lots of rules. And if you upset the rules, you have upset God, according to their stories. But God is not upset about that. God is not upset you making a mistake. God is upset if you kill people. That's a bad thing. And they are prepared to kill because you broke the rule. And that's wrong. And if you're honest, you know it is wrong. And so we have to become more confident with our own level of discernment and believe more in ourselves. And we begin to live with more honor and more respect for one another. And so the time has come to stop reading the newspapers, to stop listening to those leaders that are totally confused and express themselves with tremendous violence. These are not the leaders. These are the false leaders. The true leaders will always direct you to yourself. Will always direct you to make peace. And peace is not something that takes years and years of negotiation. Peace can happen right now. By just making that decision, we want peace. Yes, of course, every human being is your brother and your sister. Forget about the cultures. Forget about the religions. But remember, we are human. We are all humans. And the true game is to master the animal inside yourself. The animal is not yet learned to unite with its divine aspect. The animal is still fearful. And you as a human being, and I and everybody else, we have each one for ourselves. We have to decide to conquer the animal, so that the animal is not anymore expressing itself with its fears, but it's the divine that expresses itself with love and with cooperative attitudes. And then we get the new world. The new world is not a gift that comes to us. A new world is that's what you deserve because of your actions and because of your expressions. And we are very close to that now. We're very close. In the last 10 to 20 years, the children that have been coming into incarnation are all souls that are very highly evolved, who would understand these concepts so easily. But they are still battling with the dogmas that are projected upon us by their parents and by their religious leaders, and not know quite what to do. They feel confused. And the education is abominable. They don't teach you nothing about you. They teach you lots of things about mathematics. And they have years and years of study to study about mathematics, and when they get into the world, they never use it. But why don't they teach us about who we are and what we can do, and that we are love, and that we are light, and that we are representing the good energies, the God energies. That's what we are. We are representing that God energy. But we are not doing that. What we are representing, the masses, what they are representing is the fear energies. Everybody is afraid. And nobody dares to speak. That has to be discussed. We need to talk about that. And education is responsible for informing very young children who they are and what they came to do, and that they came to help in the unification process, in integrating with one another, with friendship and with the qualities of a divine being, which is indeed the ability to cooperate. Children would understand that straight away, because they already are. But if you become programmed in the schools and universities that we have, we become so trained in the rational fashion, and the intuition is totally denied, that we become very irrational, and the rational has no access to the heart, and is afraid, and is always competing, and always wants profit, and never knows how to share love. It is this what we need to discuss every day. And every human being needs to reflect again upon themselves and say, why am I not in peace? Why am I having so many fears? And why am I so negative in my relationships with the rest of with my friends and my family, etc.? Why can I not be more friendly? Why can I not be more allowing others to be the way they want to be? It doesn't matter if you want to be a Muslim or a Buddhist, or it doesn't matter. I mean, some people like coffee, other people like tea, and some people like milk, and others just drink water, you know. It's a choice, and you just allow it to be. Everybody can be free. But let us share the teachings of who we are and what we can do, and that we are creators, and that we are responsible for what we do, for how we express ourselves. And when we talk about these things, within a very short time, everybody becomes very, very responsible and begins to discern what is the best way to live. The problem is sharing love and compassion is that you first have to share that with yourself. Because many things have happened in our life, and many mistakes have been made. And we need to forgive that. We have to forgive the injustices that has been leveled against us. And also, you have to forgive the unjust ways you have been expressing yourself to other people. Because all that was happening because there was so much misunderstanding. Too much dogma, too many opinions, too little understanding. To clean up your mind with all these negative inputs, these negative thought patterns of the past, you just have to forgive them and let them go. It's like you blow up a balloon and you let it go, you know. You can do that in meditation. Meditation is a marvelous way of connecting with the God within you and become inspired by that God energy as to how to become free of the darkness. The darkness are negative thoughts that are projected upon you, and you help create it as well because you misunderstand the life. Now you've got to forgive that because you can see better now. When you can see better, you can let go of the past. The past doesn't exist anymore at this time. So when we come to the subject of compassion, you first need to do the homework. And the homework is to write down all the things of the past that you were unhappy about and forgive it. Let it go. Let it go. And as you become free in this way from the past, you free yourself from your pain, the pain that the soul feels from the injustices. There's also a tremendous pain in everybody's soul about the injustice that is happening on our planet by governments and leaders that are totally unenlightened, and they bring us into danger. almost extermination. And the time has come for us to express ourselves. Every person, no matter what station you are, it doesn't matter if you're very low level life or very high level life or anything in between, got to express. Let us unite in wanting to live in a way where we can respect one another and live in peace with one another. It's possible. The majority of people want it. It's the leaders that don't it. They prefer to control. And they control with fear. It's so obvious. It's in all the newspapers. You can see it on television. It's all the time. It's fear, fear, fear. It's not about love, love, love. And we need to choose leaders that are indeed for everybody, who want really peace. It's difficult to believe in a diplomat, because a diplomat is somebody that can never really tell the truth. That's what diplomacy is all about, is just expressing an aspect of the truth, but not all of the truth. And of course in diplomacy you need that, because there's so many opposing opinions. But now we have to cut through this and say, come on, let's not play games anymore. Let's go to the real thing, and let's do it now. Not tomorrow, now. And I'm sure if you would share that with everybody in your newspapers, hey, anybody for it? Shall we make peace? Everybody will do it. Everybody will be part of it and will support it, especially young people. Young people, they suffer tremendously in their souls. When they look around how difficult it is to live here, how much unloving energy is everywhere. And the time of the awakening, which is this time period, is now. And the question is, how many of you or how many people are going to join? If many of them join, we will peacefully go into a golden age. And the end of the darkness will be in a few more years. But if that choice is not made, then we have to suffer and continue suffering the dark forces that control religion and government and medicine. Medicine is another thing. It's terrible. People don't understand what healing is. People don't really realize that our body is so perfect, it cannot get ill. But if you live with fear in your mind, and you live long enough with that fear is going to eat at you, and you will become ill. You may get a cancer, you may get any kind of disease, any kind of weakness, because you entertain darkness in your mind. You should not live with darkness, you should live with love. If there is anything in your mind that is not loving, you're irresponsible. And if our leaders would tell the humanity this, and remind humanity about that, humanity will immediately take it out, because it makes sense. What's the point in living with fear? There's no point. And our life could be such a joy, you know. Wherever you go, you're at home. Wherever you go, you're with your family. It doesn't matter what colored skin they have, because they're all the same. They're all friendly and loving. And I've traveled all over the planet, and I've never met any people that were not capable of loving. And so that time has come now, and I hope that we get more programs on television, for instance. That television is a marvelous instrument to talk about these things. But of course, it's controlled by the dark. And it'll be very difficult to get something like what we are discussing on the television, because if everybody will become loving, nobody can be controlled anymore. So this is quite a difficult thing. But the leaders are also changing. As the light is increasing, and even as time seems to be speeding up, everybody is put again before the mirror and say, what side are you on? Are you on the side of the dark and fear and conflict and making money of other people? Or are you on the side of love and light and sharing and cooperating with one another and serving one another with what you know? That's the choice. And if we put that clearly to everybody, I'm sure everybody, the great majority, will immediately, of course we are going for the light, for love, for cooperation, for peace. We've been waiting for years. What they did not realize, that they have to become an active, creative aspect of what they actually want in their life. And so we need more positive communications, and we need to talk about these things all the time until everybody understands their role in the creative journey that we are taking towards discovering who we are. And so another recommendation, as we are creators, we are also able to use imagination. Imagination is the power, is the tool that we have in order to create exactly that what we want. In imagination you need to dream more. You have to close your eyes to the world and begin to dream. What is it that you want? What is it that you would like to see happening? What would you like to create? How would you like to help? And then you visualize a world of your ideal, where everybody's in peace, where everybody's happy, and how you would help in this happiness. That visualization, that dream that you can put up on the screen of your mind is your contribution to creation. And other people begin to dream, and they pick up your dream, and it begins to spread. That's communication. We are spiritual beings. We are not just physical beings, but we are spiritual beings for the time being in a physical body. Learning to create our dreams. And when you dream, not only at night, but you learn to dream while you are awake, that is when it begins to happen. And you begin to attract in your life other people who are equally capable of dreaming similar dreams. And so it begins to spread. And the surface would be to help somebody, or to smile at somebody, or be able to listen to the birds and hear the sound of love through the animal world. The animals are our companions. Unfortunately, we spend a lot of time eating them, but really, the animals are our companions. We can learn lots from our animals. And yeah, as it's been promised, when we have learned to make peace with one another, all the animals will come to peace too. And I think this is our journey now. And that is what should be happening in these coming years. I think magic is going to happen. And I think when all the young people are going to raise their voice and express themselves, and this world will change to a world that we've always wanted to have, where everybody feels secure because everybody else is your friend.